Holy smokes, fellas. Today has been a goddamn day. It has been a fucking day, but that's okay. My favorite time of the day has come where I film a goddamn YouTube video. Today, we'll be going over a topic that I am rather passionate about. Now, for a little backstory here before we get into it, I worked a year at a grocery store, and now I've been working for about a year for the company I currently work at. Not gonna dox myself here, but it's a company that people consider vendors. If you don't know what a vendor is, it is somebody who works outside of, like, say for example, a Walmart. They don't work for Walmart, rather they're like Dr. Pepper. They come into the store and they specifically stock that product. So they drive from store to store a lot. So my point I'm getting at here is I have 2 years of grocery experience, and I work 40 hours a week, and I have for 2 years with very minimal breaks. I don't take vacation a lot. So I can say that I have quite the opinion when it comes to people inside these establishments. Now, that being said, if you know anything about working pisses you the fuck off sometimes. Specifically, what I'm gonna be talking about in this video is things that piss me off inside the grocery industry. Now, we're just gonna get straight into it here. Like, the first thing I really fucking hate is people that lack situational awareness. In other words, people who are blocking the goddamn aisle. Holy shit. It is not that, in my eyes, it is not that hard to just move your cart over. Like, it's one thing to be sitting in the aisle, but it's another thing if you have your cart and you in the goddamn middle of it, and we have to sit there and be like, hey, excuse me, can I squeeze past you? And it's not that big of a deal if it's like not that busy, because you're not really like, come on, it's not that busy. But if there's a bunch of people there and you see this store is packed and you're taking up the whole goddamn fucking aisle, like, bro, where's your empathy? It is so irritating. Just push your cart to the side and just be considerate. Now we're just gonna go on to my next point. That first one, that's kind of just like the main one that everybody can really have, but this one kind of goes along with it. Now, this is when I am specifically trying to stock a product. This happened at the grocery store I worked at all the time, but it was less frustrating because I didn't care about that job. And frankly, when that clock struck 4, I was gone. You know, it didn't matter what I was doing. But at this job I work at now, you do this job until the job is done. You get done early, you're done early. You get done late, you're done late. But the thing is they don't pay you, like, you are not allowed to have overtime. It says in your contract, so you have to be done. And if you have overtime, you're kind of cucked. If you have overtime, you're kind of screwed. So when I have individuals stand in front of me, now granted, it's not really that deep. Like, it really isn't. Like, I get people just trying to buy products and whatnot, you know. Sometimes I even do this to employees, but it's just so frustrating. It is so frustrating when I'm trying to stock a product and I'm kind of on the clock. I have a time that I have to kind of like expect it to be out of there because my higher ups expect me to get done in a certain amount of time, and they're respectful people. But like, if I have a 40-minute job that takes 50 minutes because people keep getting in my goddamn way, they're gonna be like, hey man, that took you a little minute, didn't it? I was like, yeah, it did take me a little while. It's because people kept getting in my way. It's just a little frustrating, and I can also always ask them to get out of the way. But it's more of just like it's just a little thing that grinds my gears. That's all. But also, what irritates me is when like it's like a 20-year-old dude sitting in front of the TV dinners, and they sit there for like 5 minutes trying to figure out what they want, just to look at me saying, oh, sorry, am I in your way? And I'm like, oh, no, man, you're good. Take your time. They take their time, whatever. But then they don't fucking buy anything from the TV dinners aisle. Like, no way you just sat there. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. You know, sometimes I'd be like that. Again, not that deep. These are like such minor inconveniences, but you know, when they just happen over and over again, they just stack up, and you're like, you're just fucking, you're tired of it. You're tired of it. But this thing pisses me the fuck off. Now, for anybody who hasn't worked inside of a grocery store, or for anybody who hasn't worked this job themselves, there's these things called online shoppers. Now, during the time of COVID, during that whole epidemic, and during the rise of DoorDash, people also started doing online shopping. Now, there's the takeout thing where like Hy-Vee does this. A lot of stores do this where you put in an order, people at the store pick the product, and you drive it to the store at a dedicated time, and they put it in the back of your car and you drive home. But then they take it a step further and they have separate apps of people that is kind of like DoorDash. Like, anybody can apply for this job. You go to the store, you pick the product, and you drive to the person's house. This isn't the problem. The problem is the type of people that have this job. Specifically, when I was working at the grocery store I worked at, it was so irritating because these people, you know, they don't work there. They go to so many different stores, and a lot of them don't really make, this is like kind of like a little thing they do for like side money maybe, or maybe they're in between jobs. But what they'll do, they'll walk up to you, shove their phone into your face, and not say a fucking word, and expect you to like guide the way like Jesus. Like, all I ask for is like just the most minute ability of social skills, but I guess just none of them have it. And then once I show them the product, They don't even say thank you. They'll just walk the fuck off. Like, what the hell? And then the thing that pisses me off even more, the things that grinds my gears to the highest degree, is when they come back. When they fucking come back and they do the same shit. Like, it doesn't sound that deep until you experience it. When someone with headphones on just comes up with, like, no exaggeration, just a fucking mean mug, and shoves their phone right up into your face without saying a goddamn word, like you're not even human, like you're a fucking robot, and then they just expect you to show them where things are. Like, dude, at least say, hey man, how's it going? Or hey, can you help me with this? Some people are really polite about it. Like, don't get me wrong, some of my most favorite and most beloved people to be around when I worked at that grocery job were people from online shopping. They are some of the most just like interesting individuals I have ever been around. Being blunt about it, this is typically a job for people who can't get jobs. They're very colorful with the way they are. They're very out there. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you don't, you don't. Fucking checkout lines, specifically self-checkout. This is less of a thing as me being a worker and more of just a general consensus. There is nothing more irritating than the self-checkout line during any time of day. Because sometimes if the store's hardly busy, the self-checkout line, there's usually a stall open at any point in time. And this happens specifically at Walmarts for me, where people don't understand the idea of the self-checkout being a fast way to get out of the store. Typically, I go to the store, I always take the self-checkout because I only have about like 10 items, if that. Sometimes it's only 3 if it's like my lunch. But there's people who will bring 40 item orders through self-checkout, and they'll take a fucking eternity to use the goddamn thing because they have so many items. For those who don't know, self-checkout exists for people with small orders who don't want to sit in a line for an hour behind people who have 40 item orders. It does not make sense. And plus, these people with these 40, like these insanely largely filled carts. Okay, big blunder on my part. I'm editing this video right now, and I realized I totally didn't specify that the lines I was talking about are the lines that have a dedicated scanner and bagger. I wasn't talking about the self-checkout lines that would be more beneficial. I was talking about the lines that have the workers there that are actively scanning and bagging your items. I don't think I ever mentioned this. So, yeah, bye. Like, I understand, like, having autonomy and shit like that and having the ability to do whatever the fuck you want. But, like have some spatial awareness and realize that you were impeding other people's day because you're a fucking idiot. I don't really know what else to say. There is no benefit for you standing in that line. Zero. Besides for the fact that you don't have to talk to somebody, which I get. But, like, dude, I need to get out of the store, bro. Like, I don't want to be sitting here for an hour just because you decided you don't want to go in an actual line. Like, bro, fuck you. Now, there's another thing. As far as me being an individual that travels to a lot of stores as of right now, the job I currently work at, as stated before, I'm a vendor. So I go to a lot of stores. And I love my job. Don't get me wrong. I really do. I enjoy my job a lot. And I also enjoy Boy Scouts. Like, I think it's an adorable thing to have some people come up to you is like, hey, you want to buy some popcorn? Like, dude, I'm all supportive of that. And this doesn't even piss me off. It just makes me sad. Is that as a vendor, I go to like at least 8 stores a day. So when I have to go to 8 stores and I do that every day, I can't buy every single kid's popcorn at every store I go to. So like just the other day, there was like, it's that Boy Scout season, you know what I'm saying? So they're out there trying to sell popcorn in front of the stores. And they're asking, hey, do you want to buy some popcorn? Do you want to support me in my Boy Scouted journey? But they're also saying it like they really don't want to be there as well. So they're kind of slow and mumbly about it. And you have to sit there and hear them out. Otherwise, you're a dickhead. So I bought popcorn. And then the next 7 stores that day, I'm like, sorry, man, I'm good. Like, I want to support them so bad. But it's like, I can't realistically spend $20 8 times a day and then do the same thing tomorrow. Like, I have to be realistic. Like, hey, man, I can't. And there's nothing wrong with someone saying no to that. Don't ever feel bad for not spending money on something like that. Like, it's not a problem, but it does make you feel really sad. It really does. It kind of kills my heart, low key. Now, here's the last thing that kind of pisses me off. And this has only really became an issue with the job I work at now, being a vendor. And that's about the employees at the stores I work at. They have a tendency to not do their job very well. So on these shelves that I stock my product, we have locations allocated to our specific products. And sometimes we just don't have a product in stock, so that spot's empty. So people at the store are like, look, a free place for me to put this last thing of, I don't know, ice cream sandwiches. So then the ice cream sandwiches are full, but there's an extra like fucking 3 inside of my spot. So then I have to move their shit, bring it to the back so I can put my stuff away. And it's so irritating when I have to do their job for them. You know what? This brings it to another point. This is going to be a little honorable mention. Little spoiler alert. My company does frozen products. So I have to go into the freezer, and sometimes these guys will have the freezer so full, which isn't really their problem. Like, you know, it's like, all right, that happens. You can't do much about that. But it's the fact that my stuff is all the way in the back. I am a vendor, and my job is not to pull every single pallet of frozen food out of the freezer, which takes like 30 minutes because then you have to put it all back afterwards after you pull out your pallet. It is so frustrating to have to move so much shit, and it takes up so much time of your day and gets you so exhausted. Mind you, those freezers are so cold. It doesn't take a whole lot. You just drag. It really is not that hard. It is not that hard to just pull our pallet out and put yours in, because you know everybody knows we're gonna be there that day. They know the days that we go to stock our product, but they do it anyway. Now, also working in the grocery business, but this goes for any business, is poor managers. The grocery store that I worked at specifically had one of my least favorite managers I have ever ran into in life. And that's just because they will tell you to do something that you'll already be doing. So you'll be doing top stock and like, hey man, you make sure you get top stock done really good, all right? I'm like, oh shit, bro, I was just up here dusting the fucking shelves. Like, yeah, I'll do top stock right away. Not like I was already fucking doing it. Do you hear the beeps? Holy shit, bro. I've never felt violent in my life. Sometimes I just be wanting to throw him a right hook, make that jaw a little loose. But that's about it for the video. I don't really have much else. I do plan on doing more of these because I think these are a really cool concept of just things I hate. I got some in the chamber and I plan on pumping them out. And I'm going to try to make daily uploads because, dude, I'm on the grind, bro. We're going to be up. Next thing you know, like in a month, bro, I'm going to have 1,000 subscribers and you're going to be like asking me for collabs. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I got to say. So anyway, without further ado, you guys have a beautiful, blessed night. And don't forget that you're beautiful.